Hi, everyone. I'm Donna Taylor, broker owner of Taylor Realty Group, and my sidekick, Elsa, here today to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Madison, Mississippi. So if you're thinking of relocating and considering anywhere in the southern U.S., be sure to stay tuned to see if Madison is a good fit for you. As a native Mississippian that's lived in Madison for the last 20 years, I spent the first 20 years of my life in Jackson, Mississippi. I definitely consider myself a bit of an expert. I know all the good stuff and what some might say is the bad stuff about Madison. I'm also bringing in some of my past experiences with my clients that have moved here from out of state to share some of their frequently asked questions. So first, let's talk about the ugly. And when I say ugly, understand that my perspective is that of someone that lived in a large metropolitan city of Denver for 3 years and then moved back to Mississippi as a 40-year-old, which even though I was born and raised in Mississippi, it was still very eye-opening. So the biggest adjustment for someone moving to a small town like Madison, where our population is right at 30,000 people, was the lack of things to do. We don't have any professional sports teams in the state of Mississippi, which is why most Mississippians are Saints fans. Who dat? New Orleans is a quick 3-hour drive from Jackson. Our pace of life here is much slower than most big cities. So if you're a person that really enjoys the hustle and bustle of the city or enjoys being able to get takeout at your favorite restaurant any hour of the day, Madison is not the place for you. In fact, most restaurants here are closed on Sundays and a lot of them on Mondays too. And when I say closed, the days that they are open, they usually shut down at 9 p.m. There's not much nightlife here either. There's a few bars here and there, but definitely short on the nightlife. Another thing that some of my clients are bummed to find out about is that there's no old homes in Madison. And when I say old, I mean built before the 1950s and 60s. Most of the homes in Madison started being built in the 1980s. So if you're like enjoying the type of old home renovation, you're going to be disappointed with Madison. The last big negative on my list is the lack of rentals. As I've mentioned in previous videos of mine, 95% of the people living in Madison own their own homes. That is very much above the national average. But that's what keeps our home values increasing year over year over year. There are no apartments in the city of Madison, and there never will be. I mean, never say never, but you know what I mean. So bottom line, if you need to rent, Madison is going to give you lots of obstacles in that regard. Okay, so enough about the gloom and doom. Let's talk about the positives. Why are people moving to central Mississippi? I definitely have some insight on this. Like I mentioned, several of my clients have moved here over the last few years, and honestly, I'm always a little surprised to hear their number one reason that they move here. It's because of our conservative values. A lot of people, just like me, grew up in the South, move out west, and then they realize what I mean when I say conservative values. There's so many things in our country that have happened over the last few years that have made people realize that living in a liberal area is not all that it's cracked up to be, especially when raising a young family. I knew the second that I became pregnant, this was back in 2013, that living in a big liberal metropolitan city was not the way that I wanted to raise my family. So to each his own, of course, but I'm just saying that's the number one reason why I chose to move back to Mississippi. Another reason that makes Madison so desirable is our cost of living. And I'm mainly referring to housing costs here because the median house price in Madison is currently $373,000. Home prices have been very stable here over the last few years. And so many of our clients are shocked to find out the quality of home that they can get for under $400,000. Even some homes that are spec are great quality homes because they have just become the standard over years and years here. Most of my buyers that are new to Mississippi are pleasantly surprised when they see the caliber of new construction homes in our area. Most of those have brick exterior, granite counter, and all those things that make a house not feel like a lot of the cookie cutter neighborhoods that they were used to seeing. And last, but definitely not least on my list, are those things that are quantifiable that make a city great. These are the things that are graded on sites like niche.com. I'll put a link below for Madison so that you can easily click on it and see all of our scores. But these are the things like crime rate, schools, jobs, commute, etc. As a realtor, I have to be very careful of the things that I say on these topics. So that's why I generally point people to sites like niche.com where opinions are taken out. It's all about facts and numbers. Sometimes Mississippi gets a bad rap, and it's really unfair judgment. So in today's world where people are working remotely but paying a small fortune for housing in an overcrowded and congested, overpriced city and looking for a better option, there's good news. I encourage you to check out some of the neighborhood-specific videos that I've done on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link at the end of this video for those. And also check out active listings in Madison on my website, taylorgroupms.com. That's all for this video. Aspen, Elsa, and I say happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. See you on the next video.